we are off.
We're off to the races.
Dude, I got to show you something. So I think I told you I bought this a long time ago, but I didn't unbox it because I'm finally finishing. I reposted all my posters in the back, and I'm starting to rebuild my shelves. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, I see that. Okay.
I also have some books.
Nice.
But, dude, I unboxed. I don't know if you remember. I told you I bought a Mondo Sabretooth figure.
No, I don't think you told us you got that.
I bought it like a year ago.
Oh, yeah, but I had that one where you were like, I shouldn't have bought this.
Yeah, well, I mean, now I don't regret it. But, dude, right. It's huge.
Nice.
I thought it was going to be like normal action figure size. This thing is like literally like 14 inches. But here, dude, look at this motherfucker.
Holy, oh my God, that's awesome. Dude, what? You need to take some pictures and like post this. It's so cool.
I know. I need to start doing the shit that you've been doing. But it came with a replaceable head and then like a bunch of other things, like shit you could put in his hand.
But I've literally have not seen anyone talk about this or show this. Like, this is so fucking awesome. What?
Dude, it's sick and it's heavy as fuck. It's literally like, this thing is massive, bro. I didn't realize how big it was until I took it out the box.
And for our listeners out there, like the coloring looks comic book accurate. Like it looks like you could see like ink lines. Like, dude, it looks so it's one of those paints. One of those paint jobs.
Yeah, I went back on Mondo's website and I was like, fuck, I kind of want to get more of these motherfuckers. The only bad thing is like they're all like $220 each. So, but this thing's sick.
That is sick.
I put it on my shelf.
That's the definition
yesterday, and then at like 2 a.m, it like fell over, scared the shit out of me.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, luckily it didn't break, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to stabilize it. It didn't come with a stand, unfortunately, but I'll figure out how to.
But basically, what you're saying is that now you have a new weapon for any home intruders.
Exactly. Dude, you already know. This thing is sick, though.
What is it made out of? Is it plastic?
No, I think it's vinyl, like old OG vinyl. It smells like vinyl.
Jake just sniffed Sabretooth's crotch, by the way.
Dude, it smells good. I'm not gonna lie. Dude, it's fucking sick, though.
No, I love it, dude.
So yeah, I'm gonna put this on the shelf. Find a stable area for it.
I picture Jake and this Sabretooth, since it's so big, like Jake like running around in a park with it, like having the best day ever.
Dude, I want to, honestly. I fucking want to. It's sick.
Nice.
I'm going to have to steal a bunch more of those.
That Sabretooth could replace Cody.
Exactly. We don't need Cody.
We don't need him. And he's not here today, so that it just proves the point.
Dude, no, he's not. But you know what else we have that's big?
Ooh.
I think you and I both got the exact same copy.
Oh, yeah. Yep. The nice deluxe edition of Geiger.
Yeah, hardcover deluxe edition of Geiger, published by Image Comics by Geoff Johns, art by Gary Frank, a few other artists, I think Brad Anderson.
Yeah, that trio, you find they work together usually. Like they're on a lot of books together. Gary Frank and Geoff Johns especially are always doing comics together.
Yeah, I mean, they do the whole Batman Earth 1 run, right?
Yes, yep. Doomsday Clock, if you check that out.
Yep, I have that. They didn't finish that, did they?
Yeah, no, they did.
I have part 2. I felt like it didn't have a finite ending. I felt like
it was a very delayed book, for sure.
Okay, maybe I need to go back and reread it. I feel like I forgot how it ended. It wasn't that good, but I will say I'm a big fan of Gary Frank's art, so I do like to own anything he does.
Nice.
Regardless of whether the story is bussin'.
I actually did just recently get an absolute edition of Geoff Johns and Gary Frank, anything they did for Superman.
Whoa.
It's all collected in like one absolute edition. Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. And I've always been a fan of Geoff Johns, honestly. Like what I always call on the podcast, the Civil War era for Marvel, he was over at DC. Like, and a lot of his stuff, like Infinite Crisis, his Green Lantern run.
Green Lantern, Blackest Night, all that shit.
And that was the DC, those were the DC comics I was reading when I got into comics heavy when I was younger. So Geoff Johns is hugely influential into me being a comic book fan.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's one of the GOATs easily.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
I put him up there. You know, like
what's their Superman run? What because I got to have their books, but now I'm trying to remember what their titles are.
He does. So part of it is Superman's Secret Origin, and they give you kind of an updated origin for Superman in that era. They do some Legion of Superheroes stuff, I think.
Okay, I think I do have them. I think they're back in New York.
Yeah, like it's not necessarily like a straight run. Specifically, it could be like Adventures of Superman or Action Comics or Superman. You know, there's different titles. It's just whatever they've worked on together. You know, in comics, there's just teams that always work together, and they're one of them.
Dude, fuck yeah. Speaking of teams, I recently bought House of the Unholy.
Nice. Yeah, same here.
Brooby Baby and Sean Phillips.
We should do an episode on it.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I think for as big of a fan, especially you are, Brubaker, and how much everyone loves him, honestly, like, and how good his comics are, we've only done like one Brubaker comic.
Yeah, we need to do a lot more. Honestly,
Yeah.
like their books are kind of like top-notch quality. They're like the HBO of the comic book industry.
Yeah. Or I guess that they're now going to be the Amazon Prime of the comic book industry.
Well, yeah, I mean, that too, because I've been watching,
Cape Crusader.
yeah, Cape Crusader. I see Brubaker is one of the executive producers on that.
Yeah, he's heavily involved with that. Matt Reeves even.
You could tell it feels like very noir and,
Yeah.
you know.
I need to finish watching it, but it's great. We need to do an episode on that too.
I'm on episode 4 right now. I watched the first 3.
Nice. Yeah, no, it's great.
I'm digging it. I love it.
Yeah. And then Brubaker's coming out with what is it Kill or Be Killed? No, it's a live action show for one of the Brubaker Phillips books. Criminal, yeah.
Criminal,
That's
which
coming
has
to
a
Prime.
sick cast so far. That I'm excited to see. I always thought Criminal would make a great HBO show, so I'm intrigued to see how Amazon will handle it.
Yeah, right. I mean, if they have a budget and Brubaker's attached, I feel like that's good news.
Yeah. Criminal. I want to go back and reread Criminal. Criminal's what got me into Brubaker. I mean, other than like him doing Winter Soldier and shit. As far as Brubaker Phillips, Criminal was the first thing I read, then Fatale, and then the rest of all their shit.
I need to read more. I have not read enough.
Come on, dog. Well, be that as it may, we're talking Geiger today.
Geiger.
The Glowing Man.
The Glowing Man. Yeah, I like that little addition. His moniker, The Glowing Man.
Yeah, The Glowing Man. I liked this book. I liked his design too.
Yeah, he's a cool new character.
Yeah. Definitely has like, it borrows a lot from a lot of things, both movies and comic books. I mean, the design is very similar to Ghost Rider.
Yes. He definitely gives you those vibes. Hulk vibes, just that kind of
vibes for sure. Mad Max vibes.
Mad Max especially.
Fallout vibes.
Fallout vibes, yeah.
A lot of like post-nuclear, like anything, whether it be comic books, video games, a lot of that vibe going on.
Yeah, like I Am Legend. I got some of that. There's
definitely.
For whatever reason, like it was one of the first movies I rented from Netflix when you could get like DVDs back in the day. There's a movie called A Boy and His Dog.
Huh.
It's like, post-apocalyptic nuclear wasteland, and it's like a boy and his dog like going through it. It's kind of a more quiet movie, but still those same kind of vibes, like end of the world. And he has a pet dog, Barney, the two-headed dog.
Barney, yeah, I love the two-headed dog.
Yep, so it gave me those vibes too. I like how like so much of the comic. So this is only 6 issues, this deluxe edition, plus that 80, or wasn't an 80-page giant? Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a one-shot included at the end. But I think you get enough story out of that, even though it's a nice deluxe edition, but it's only 6 issues. It's not as like I was expecting more, based on the size of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big book. The story itself is only 6 issues, although it's kind of cool because like the story is only being told through the perspective of those 2 guys who are out there camping and shit.
Right. And then at the end, you find out one of the guys is the kid that they meet in the facility.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the kid who has cancer, right? He's sick?
Well, so he meets the 2 kids, and one of them has cancer. No, but the kid telling the story is like they meet another kid when they go in there. I don't know his name. Like he's a little kid with glasses.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I remember.
And he's trying to be friendly, and you don't really know, he's just there. And it turns out like and the reason that you know this is because you see something happen to his eye towards the end of the volume. And then it cuts to him talking about it, and he has an eye patch over that eye.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So even this book that you're reading, it's like past stories of Geiger, the Glowing Man.
Yeah. He's like a legend.
Yeah, almost like a post-apocalyptic like urban legend.
And where they're telling this story, like where the volume ends off as well, like it's like a huge crater is next to them. Like you get that nice double-page spread. where you see him by the campfire.
But then you also see in that same 2-page spread, I think in the distance, you see the glowing man's walking.
Ooh, yeah, you do see a glow. You're right.
You see like the little neon like green like off in the distance. So he's like out there still.
And they are in Las Vegas, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. Yeah, New Vegas, or I forgot what they call it.
Fallout New Vegas.
It felt like Fallout New Vegas, literally.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can't really be any other way. Although the way they set up how like the world is operating there, I guess is cool. Like it's like a casino, and it's like the different like bosses of like the different parts of the casino.
Old Man Logan vibes.
Yeah, I got that. As well.
A lot of that.
Yeah.
No, I think this book borrowed in a very cool way from a lot of cool shit. I mean, the art is sick. I really like the art.
Yeah, that's what I kind of was trying to get at before, where like it feels short, but like I feel like the art has a chance to tell the story almost even more than like the actual like words and like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of room for the art to breathe as you're like doing it. Like, you know, like it's not always dialogue and,
no,
you know, I don't want to call it a quiet comic, but it works that way. I like, it was a fun read that way.
Yeah.
You know, a easy page turner, I guess. Like it's just the story unfolds without too much exposition even. Like you just kind of get a little bit here and there about how he even became Geiger, you know?
Yeah, I like that. His backstory is cool.
Yeah.
I guess for you readers, for you listeners, and hopefully readers.
And Cody.
We'll give a little synopsis. So this story takes place in the not so distant post-apocalyptic America. You're not quite sure what happened, whether it's war or just nukes went off, but obviously some bombs went off because we meet this guy. This is before the war, before the nukes. His name is Tariq. And he has a wife and kids. He's also diagnosed with cancer, and he's pretty much like done. But the doctor says, oh, you know, we can do this pretty much like this experimental chemotherapy on you. I'm not sure if it'll work, but who knows? So he's like, fuck it, I'll do it. So he's doing it, but one day something happens. A bomb goes off in the distance, a nuke. And luckily, Tariq has a underground bunker. And so he puts his kids and his wife in it. And as he's about to get in it himself, his neighbor which I thought was crazy, and it also kind of reminded me of the beginning of Fallout, his neighbor shoots him in the leg.
Yeah.
And he's like, we want the bunker like to survive and shit. And he's like, fuck you. You could suck a dick. You know, he's just like, nah, like lets his wife and kids go in. The bomb comes and whew, pretty much like you think wipes everyone out.
Yeah. Also that moment like is like a small, like terrifying moment, even though that huge thing is about to happen.
Super terrifying.
And I feel like that happens a lot in Geoff Johns comics.
Yeah.
You know, like I wouldn't call him an edgelord, but he kind of does edgelord things sometimes.
I mean,
I'm not saying that's edgelord. It's just dark. There's just darker things that happens in his stories.
Yeah, he definitely likes to tug on the like the heartstrings.
For sure. And I mean, a story we talked about on here, Sinestro Corps War, that's super dark. Superboy Prime, that's his character, you know, like
exactly.
He's a fucked up dude.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's fucked up. Yeah, so then basically, okay, bombs go off. You think everyone dies. You find out that Tariq has been rescued by that dude was like a physicist or something.
Yeah, some white lab coat dude.
Some like nuclear scientist who, for whatever reason, has 2 rods of boron, and he fixes this contraption to Tariq that'll basically say, so long as you have these like 2 rods of boron, it'll always like quell the nuclear reaction that's happening inside you. Once you take them out, you'll glow and you'll become like incredibly like Chernobyl like radioactive. And dude, all those scenes where he does take him out and he like glows green and he just like melts metal and shit.
Yeah.
Loved all of that.
I just love that that's his weapons too, right? Like those are his weapons. Like it's kind of Nightwing Daredevil-esque.
Super Nightwing Daredevil.
So it just adds a cool different wrinkle into it where he's just like, yeah, like he's kind of got those Hulk Ghost Rider vibes, but then that's how he's fighting. So
yeah,
he's a cool character. I like Geiger a lot.
Yeah, I like him a lot too. He's sad.
Yeah, super sad.
Then he finds Barney because I guess now in the post-apocalypse, because of the radiation, all the cockroaches and ants and insects are like huge, monstrous, carnivorous fucking things because they all survived and they got irradiated. But he has an ally. He has a dog named Barney. It's a 2-headed wolf dog thingy.
Yeah.
Kind of like Cerebus.
Yeah.
his little Cerebus.
I'm surprised that's not what he called it.
I know. That's what I was thinking too, honestly, when I was reading it. I was like, why would you not name him Cerebus?
Yeah. But I guess Barney gives you the opposite effect. You think Barney the dinosaur, it's just kind of like a jolly
That's
name,
true.
you know?
That's true. Yeah. He was awesome. I loved Barney.
Yeah. Great character.
Dude, actually, going back to what you were saying about Geoff Johns being kind of edgelord, what I thought was really depressing was the whole. You're right. I think there are parts of this where it's almost too depressing for its own good. The killing of the mom of the two kids.
Oh, yeah.
Also, I'm not going to lie how I feel, and I've been talking about it with some people as far as like this being done in other mediums. I don't know. I'm kind of overseeing like black people suffer in different mediums. And then on top of this, okay, they lose their mom, and then the fucking child gets like diagnosed with leukemia. It's like,
yeah,
Jesus Christ,
that's
like,
a big reveal. Yeah,
like how much suffering does this one family, also the only black family in the book, have to like go through?
Yeah, I mean they are the main characters of the book, along with Geiger. You know.
Yeah, but it seems like the girl and Geiger are the main characters, but it's like Jesus, like so much.
I mean, I get
it's a little heavy. It's a little heavy-handed.
I get what you're saying. In this scenario, though, I don't know. Like the story lends itself to like, yeah, I agree with them. Maybe the part with the mom didn't need to happen, but it's kind of like how she passes off what they call the football, which has the codes to all the nuclear weapons. Like it's the most valuable thing you could have right now. Like we don't know exactly what happened in the past. Like obviously, a nuke or multiple nukes went off, presumably America, the world. But there's still some out there, and if you have them, you're going to be the person with the most power.
Yeah.
And so the kid's mom, she has it. She steals it actually from one of the atomic knights.
From the king, yeah. Oh yeah, you're right, the atomic knight.
Which is a cool concept too. But I guess my point is like not to defend like what you were saying, but the fact that like there's little things like at the beginning, the little brother's tired. She's like, you're always tired, you know, like you always say that
because he's sick, because he has cancer,
right? And it makes sense in a world where there would be radiation and fallout and stuff like that.
That's true.
I mean, the main character Tariq, he's going through a lot of shit. I mean, we find out he's guarding.
Oh yeah, that's depressing.
He's guarding the bunker, but when it eventually gets bombed by the king, who's like the most Joffrey-esque motherfucker, you hate him.
Yeah.
Not as cool as Joffrey though. Like Joffrey, I think would actually kick his ass.
Yeah,
like
this guy was a bitch.
That's how low on the totem pole this dude was. But like you see the bunker get destroyed, and when he goes to investigate it, you see the skeletons of like his son and his kids and his wife, and it's just so sad. But like it's just like that's it. Like he says like you got rid of my hope. Like that was the one thing that Geiger had left. Just cool.
And it turns out
cool
they've
story.
been dead for years.
Yeah. He's been guarding
a tomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great.
So super depressing. No, I wouldn't call that edgelord. I'm not saying the story's edgelord at all. I think it's the right amount of depressing.
Yeah.
For the
a lot of
subject
depressing
matter.
Shit in it, yeah. I mean, even when they tell the girl like, oh, we're gonna have to kill your brother because he's not gonna survive.
She's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you see those people as like you get the impression right away, like you said, because we've seen this in other media, that no matter where you go in this world, it's not going to be necessarily safe. Like it seems like the people here are basically going to protect them, but not really. Like when you get that line, you're like, that's not the place to stay. And that's obviously, but they kind of have to stay there.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done, they don't leave that place, but I don't think they're going to hurt her brother after all that, or that's the implication.
Yeah, well,
right, like at the end, they don't leave, or they're with
I thought
that.
They did leave.
I thought, like at the end, Geiger leaves. So at the end of the comic, he has that huge explosion fighting with the king, and he kills all of them. But I think they stay at that facility because where else do they go? I don't think there's anywhere else for them to go.
No, you're right, because they said that the outside world is heavily irradiated.
Right, and so really the only place is the casino. Which we know more shit is, first of all, there's a whole nother 6 issues of Geiger plus more stuff. So this is at Image Comics, but then they kind of branched off to create something called Ghost Machine Productions.
Yeah.
So that's like even Jason Fabok, who we love his art, he's part of that. And there's more series. So like, okay, there's one part of the comic, we meet this dude called Junkyard Joe.
Oh yeah, he's like the World War II robot guy, right?
Yeah, and they have or Vietnam maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's Vietnam.
And so first of all, there's a Junkyard Joe series. There's a series called Rook. There's a series called Redcoat. And I think we get a hint of it here, but like Geiger and Junkyard Joe are like immortals or the immortal one, something like that. And there's different characters. Like Geiger's story is bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
There's different series out now, which I haven't read, which I want to read now, but like Redcoat takes place in like the Revolutionary War time. Like we get snippets of it in Geiger. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
Like it's in one of the issues, we just get like a panel of each. Like we see Junkyard Joe in Vietnam and all this stuff. But at this point, me and you reading this don't know the significance of that yet. But his fight with Junkyard Joe was fucking awesome. I love that fight.
Yeah, that was a sick fight. Okay, you're right. He does. Geiger leaves the kids at the facility.
Yeah. That's like the very end.
Yeah, and he goes off and fights the king and his men.
Yep. Because, like I said, there's literally nowhere else for them to go.
Yeah, and they have what they call those people, the organ people.
Oh, that's what made me think of Mad Max. Those dudes, the flesh eaters, maybe what they were called. I don't know.
But they'll eat people, but they'll sell the organs to like other people for surgeries.
Right, and whatever's left over, they eat. They said, or something like that. Yeah, whatever's left over,
they eat. Because I think they themselves are like already too irradiated.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Because they live out in the desert.
Yeah.
No, this comic is good. It has a lot of good action. It's a great story.
It's a quick read.
It was a quick read. This 6 issues was a quick read, but I never say that as a negative on the podcast. Quick reads don't bother me with comics.
Exactly. If truth be told, if I have a hard time reading it, that's a negative. A quick read is never a bad thing. It actually means that it's so engaging that I'm fucking breezing through it.
Because as soon as I picked it up that afternoon, I was done with it.
Yeah. I finished this in like 2 days. I finished the House of the Unholy in 2 days.
Nice. Yeah, like it's not. It's such a good quick read. It's hard not to say like go read this. Go buy it. It's totally worth your time. If we've hit the nexus, I think I know what I'm giving it.
Oh shit. Well, do you think we're gonna get more Geiger stories?
Well, so like I was just saying, so that this is the first volume. The next volume starts again at number 1. So there's another, I think, 6 issues plus. Maybe it's ongoing now. And then there's spin-offs. So there's, like I said, there's a guy called Redcoat. There's a guy called Rook. There's this guy, Junkyard Joe, we already met. He already has a volume out.
You also meet Safari Bob.
That
guy's origin story.
The mob lady who we say, who apparently, supposedly, just by like her lore that they heard about at the casino is like the great-granddaughter of Al Capone or something like that.
Yeah.
So you have all these people. And then in the 80-page giant, you kind of get like these short stories focusing on some of those people.
Yeah.
There was one story that was so fucked up where this lady had to fight her son and she knew it was her son. Her son didn't know he had to kill his own mother. Like it was this dude they were training since birth, like in one of the sections of the casino.
I don't remember that one.
It's just so many short stories at the end. Like
I remember the one where the girl ends up letting that other woman join her squad.
Oh, that was fucked up one too.
Yeah, when she kills her guys in the desert.
Yeah, and at the end, it's kind of like oh shit, what did I get myself into? Like she thought she was getting into a good situation, but... And
she's like, no, you work for me now.
Yeah.
This is a cool world. I definitely want to see... Yeah, I want to see more of it, honestly. I'm here for it.
Like on the surface, when I first like heard about Geiger and how like it was like an expanding world, I couldn't see how that was the case. Like it seemed like a kind of a straightforward story, but it makes sense. Once you read it, you're like, there's even a map somewhere at the back of this deluxe edition where it shows you the different territories. And I don't want to call it Game of Thrones-esque, but like, because it hasn't reached those levels, it definitely feels more like Old Man Logan, the way they have the territories separated.
I agree.
So it's cool. The power dynamics in the world's cool. The characters are cool. Story's cool. I don't have any negatives about the comic, I would say.
Does that mean you're giving it the old 6?
I think I'm giving it the 6, yeah. Geiger gets a 6 from me. 6 out of 6 Joe Pesci's.
Yeah, I'm also giving it a 6. I thoroughly enjoyed it and loved it, and I like that I own it.
Nice. We'll definitely keep reading the series for sure.
Yeah, I highly recommend that if people want a new independent comic to check out, they should get this one.
Do you think, because Cody asked me this when we did our book, he said, do you think Jake would like the Night Eaters? Me and Cody did the Night Eaters. Do you think Cody would like Geiger? I think so.
Yeah, I think so, for sure.
Especially because it's like most of
what did you say when Cody asked if you think I would like Night Eaters? I
think you would, because the Night Eaters has an A24 vibe for sure.
Ooh.
It's what we point out about the Night Eaters like throughout the whole episode is that it has a very slow start. Like it just builds up a very kind of more normal seeming world, but like with that creepiness kind of injected in, and then like you start to find out like what's happening in the story. And this story, you're like thrown right into it. Like you kind of get the background that it's, you know, post-apocalyptic world, yada yada. But it doesn't weigh the story down. It's kind of, it almost helps the story that it's kind of familiar. You know what I mean? Like, because it's not really the focus. It's like all about the characters, which makes this a great, you know, it just makes it a great comic. But I think Cody would like it, for sure.
It's just a beautiful comic. Like the art is so cool to look at.
Yes. Sometimes Gary Frank draws people, they look kind of weird.
Ugly
is the
they
word.
do.
For
they
sure.
look weird and ugly. They almost look like the fucking, I forget his name, but the kid from the Mad magazines.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like a lot of his art looks like that kid.
Well, wait till you see his Clark Kent. If you haven't seen it, he kind of has that same kind of like look, like that dopey kind of.
No, I agree. Yeah, Gary Frank sometimes I like his art, but yeah, he can draw people really ugly.
Yeah. Hey, that's all. It's not ugly art, but the people look ugly.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not that the art is ugly; it's that the people he just, for whatever reason, he just makes them look ugly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I highly recommend this book. It's sick.
Yeah. And Cody, if you're listening, many families are torn apart in this book, so you're gonna love it.
It's true. A lot of families die, so you'll love it.
And if you're listening, if that's what you're into too, for some reason, we know you'll love this comic.
Yeah, go check out our many other episodes where we talk about families being destroyed.
Yeah. There's a lot of comics with that theme. A lot of movies. It sells. It sells.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. I think that started it.
Yeah.
At least on the podcast. It started our love for families being killed.
Yep. It's a tradition we've upheld for all these years.
A tradition.
Yeah. All right. Well, go rate us.
Rate us. Go rate us on Spotify, you guys. We need it. We want to hear what you guys think. Join our Patreon. We got a lot of cool things coming out.
Did you know on Spotify you could leave comments now on episodes? Some people started doing it.
Oh, really? I want to read some of them.
Yeah. There's not a lot, but you can, if you're listening. Well, we always say that, by the way. If you're listening, you have to obviously be listening if you hear my voice right now. But if you're listening, start commenting on episodes. You're listening, like, if you're thinking, well, why the fuck did Jake just say that? Comment. Why the fuck is Anthony, like, just put your thoughts out loud onto the comment section and we'll talk to you.
Let us know what you think. If our episodes are mid, if they're bussin'.
Yeah. They're always bussin', by the way. But
yeah, for the most part, they're definitely bussin'.
For the most part.
It's top shelf. We rarely put out mid stuff.
Yeah, I think there's episode 17 or something. Whatever episode with Abby Gavinden, that's just not like, that's our least bussin' episode.
I like that. That's the go-to forever. It's been years.
People have told us. We admit it ourselves.
People have. Yeah, we have. Yeah. We'll have to go back and retcon that episode.
Yeah, somehow. All right. Well, catch us next time.
Swag monsters.
Swag monsters.
Hi, you're listening to Comics and Chronic, and I'm Jacob H.
I'm Cody Cannon.
And I'm Anthony Iannaccio.
And you can tune in every Thursday to hear new episodes of Comics and Chronic.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Comics and Chronic. That's comics, the letter N, Chronic.
We'll see you guys next week.
Woo!
Peace.